The biggest misconception plaguing Japanese baseball free agency is that reliability automatically guarantees a suitor. We watched this winter as Tomohisa Higashihama, a 35-year-old veteran pitcher, a proven starter, an innings eater who consistently delivers a career ERA hovering below 3.50 in high-pressure situations, declared his FA rights seeking only opportunity, yet stood absolutely naked in the market, waiting for a single phone call that never arrived.
This wasn't merely a failed transfer. This was the entire NPB market declaring that reliable veteran value is effectively worthless when tied to one insidious mechanism. That is exactly what 605 News 1 will uncover with you right now. The fallout from Higashihama's declaration and subsequent decision to remain with the SoftBank Hawks is not just a footnote in the off-season ledger. It is a seismic indictment of the entire compensation structure for B-rank free agents.
Higashihama, who had meticulously earned his right to explore options outside of Fukuoka, did so with the clear intention of finding a rotation spot where he could pitch every 5 days, realizing his current role was diminishing. He wasn't chasing a massive contract bump, he was chasing relevance. But the market refused to engage. The key factor, the one element that poisons the well every time, is the human compensation required for B-ranked players.
Higashihama is, indisputably, fantastic depth, perhaps even a potential 10-win caliber pitcher who just needs a change of scenery and consistent volume, stated veteran baseball analyst Kenji Nishimura, his voice tight with frustration. But he carries the nuclear deterrent of B-rank compensation.
Why, in the name of sensible resource management, would a rival club sacrifice a promising young prospect, a 22-year-old kid with team control, for a pitcher who is 35 and might only have 3 elite seasons left? The trade-off is mathematically illogical. The cold, hard reality is that clubs are not afraid of Higashihama's arm. They are terrified of the price tag on the prospect they would have to surrender to the Hawks, knowing SoftBank's ability to maximize any acquisition from a compensation list.
This leads inevitably to the counter-argument that flooded the forums. Perhaps Higashihama simply isn't good enough anymore. Perhaps the league saw his 2023 performance, respectable but not spectacular, and decided he was overpriced even without the compensation issue. But the data fiercely refutes this cynical take. We dissected his metrics from last season, focusing specifically on his peripheral numbers, explained Dr. Sato, a baseball metric specialist.
His strikeout-to-walk ratio remained at a highly controlled 2.8, significantly above the Central League's average for a fifth starter. He generates ground balls, he controls the running game, and he is a known quantity who minimizes disaster innings. We calculated his true market value, absent the compensation clause, to be around 150 million yen for his reliability alone.
If you look at the Chunichi Dragons, who are hemorrhaging pitching depth, they would have happily paid 300 million for that stability if the compensation requirement wasn't looming. The true cost of Higashihama wasn't his salary, it was the hidden, incalculable cost of a potential future star. The conflict escalated as the offseason dragged on. November turned to December, and December bled into the new year.
Higashihama waited, enduring the most humiliating kind of silence a professional athlete can face. Every day that passed without a formal offer deepened the wound, turning the quest for opportunity into a desperate plea for validation. This rare, drawn-out process, extending FA resolution into January, broke the traditional rhythm of the NPB offseason. The psychological toll must have been immense. The climax arrived when Higashihama had to admit defeat, to himself and to the league.
According to an inside source, when the pitcher finally informed the SoftBank management of his decision to return, he did so with a quiet dignity that was shattering. He didn't come in asking for a renegotiated term or better incentives, the source, a coach known only as Yoshida, recounted. His eyes were not defeated, they were simply resolute. He looked management in the eye and said, "I want to honor the Hawks jersey.
I waited patiently, and the market's silence told me everything I needed to know about its current calculation of veteran worth. The market failed, but SoftBank did not. He committed himself to SoftBank until the 2026 season, accepting the challenge to fight for his spot amongst the deep stable of young Hawks pitchers. The plot twist here is the residual impact on the rivals.
While this story feels like a personal failure for Higashihama, his eventual return is an enormous, unexpected strategic victory for the Hawks and a devastating blow to the Central League, especially the Dragons. The online reaction was immediate and visceral. "Chunichi is genuinely finished," declared a representative comment from a rival fan. "We needed a veteran anchor to stabilize our rotation, a reliable arm we could pencil in for 25 starts." We gambled on the possibility of grabbing Higashihama when other FA targets like Norimoto or Tatsumi looked impossible. Now we are left scrambling for scraps and relying on unproven talent. SoftBank just won the offseason by doing absolutely nothing, inheriting an exceptional depth pitcher for free. Higashihama's saga exposes the fundamental flaw. The FA compensation system, designed to protect small market teams, has effectively become a shield used by the wealthiest clubs to trap their high-quality B-rank veterans, knowing rivals cannot afford the human cost. Tomohisa Higashihama returns to Fukuoka not as a failed free agent, but as the inadvertent symbol of a broken system and an absolute strategic boon for the Hawks. His presence ensures SoftBank's rotation depth is virtually unmatched, ready to absorb injuries and fluctuating performance with the calm assurance of a proven veteran arm. The market tried to devalue him, but ultimately they only ended up strengthening their chief rival. If you appreciate this kind of deep dive into the complex mechanics governing the world of Japanese baseball, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with fellow fans, and subscribe to 605 News One for more exclusive analysis.
What do you think the NPB needs to do to reform the B-rank compensation rules so that quality veterans like Higashihama actually have a realistic path to new opportunities? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.